Hey, what's going on? It's the ManfuzedPodcast. I am Kay Lee, audio producer, voice artist. My co-host, Ben H., sitting right here.
Looking at a rattlesnake head.
Yeah, why is it out of my pants? I don't know.
Next to a cannon.
Next to a cannon.
Imagine that.
This is some of the decor that is within the Manfuzed studio.
Cool things.
Today on the Manfuzed Podcast, I am going to gift you the power of the judiciary system. You are going to get to play judge today, and I want you to tell me.
Yes, I've always wanted to be a judge.
If this person is guilty as charged.
Okay.
I am going on an apology tour, Ben.
Oh, God.
Now, this might cause you to want to create your own
apology tour,
but we'll get into that. And then we're going to talk about this eerie premonition that I had a week back, almost it being like one of those moments. I don't know why I turned right, and then I find out later I avoided some crazy accident. It was just out of the blue.
Right.
But first, let's get in to Judge Ben.
All right.
Trial of a South Florida man accused of killing his girlfriend continued today, and so far no ruling on if he'll be able to show his penis to the jury like he requested.
For more on the story, let's get to Local 10's Carlos Suarez. He's been following this from Fort Lauderdale. Carlos.
Interesting.
The Associate Medical Examiner of Broward County took to the stand about an hour ago and said that in all his years of work, he has never had a single case where someone choked to death as a result of performing oral sex.
Oh, my.
Now, his testimony goes to the heart of the defense's case that Richard Patterson did not kill his girlfriend back in 2015. Prosecutors allege that the 65-year-old choked her to death, but he claims that she choked on his penis. A penis would have to be large, far enough down a person's throat to block that person from breathing through their nose and mouth. He also said that it would take 2 to 3 minutes for a person to die as a result of a lack of oxygen.
Dude,
so that
is
it would have
dark.
been clear that a person, this woman in particular.
That's dark.
Richard, or AKA Dick, choked his girlfriend of 60 years old with his penis.
That's insane.
Now, apparently, Richard has a very large penis.
Obviously.
Now, there was an argument in court over the state of Richard Patterson's flaccid or erect penis and which version he should show the jury.
No way.
So what they were saying was,
obviously the erect version.
The attorneys were arguing over whether the penis of a South Florida man accused of killing his wife or girlfriend should be flaccid or erect. Patterson's attorney claims his client accidentally choked while performing oral sex, but the penis is material and relevant to the jury because it is essential for them to fully understand the size and girth of Richard's penis.
Imagine they look at it and they're like, dude, there ain't no way that's choking a girl.
Apparently, Richard is very confident. That being said, poor 60-year-old woman.
Yes.
Who was trying to do Richard a service.
The question I have, when do I become Judge Ben?
Launch into Judge Ben right now.
As Judge Ben, what I want to know is, what was the sexual position being performed? And here's why I want to know that. If she was getting mouth, for example, laying on the bed with her head hanging off, and he's standing there giving it to her, right? Obviously, in that position, he could hold himself there against her will. All he'd have to do is hold her chest down and lodge his penis deep enough in there to where she couldn't breathe. And he could just stand there, she couldn't get away.
There is some evidence to the case that has not been relayed to you yet. He didn't call the police right after it happened.
Right.
I don't think he called the next day.
Oh, my God.
It was 2 days later before he reported.
It's ridiculous. The other thing is this, like, okay, position-wise, if she's giving him head, well, it's not like she's going to sit there and choke herself to death. How could it be that this woman could have something in her esophagus and not be able to get it out? That's the question. Because in most cases, if you're choking, you're going to do everything you can to get whatever it is that is choking you out, because you're getting ready to choke to death, right? So you're going to use, if needed, all of your strength to get away, to get it out, to do whatever it is to get out of this situation.
Or get the situation out of you.
Or get the situation out of you. To me, I'm not concerned whether or not she choked on said Richard's penis.
Dick's dick?
I'm sure she did. I don't even need to see how big it is.
Really?
No. I mean, at the end of the day, a penis could choke someone. In general, yes, a penis could choke someone.
Was he holding her nose?
A hot dog can choke someone. Honestly, what are we talking about here?
Richard's got a thermos-sized penis?
You know, like I said, hot dogs choke people. You know, like the sausages.
Now, the defense did provide, because it was never approved that he could show his penis outright to the jury.
Right.
But he did provide 2 photographs to the prosecuting side of his penis next to a measuring tape, one erect and one flaccid.
I mean, it's one of those things. Did he kill her? That's the question.
Well, the layer of guilt in the fact that he didn't even go, oh my God, afterwards, after he finished in her esophagus.
Right.
He didn't go, Margaret, or whatever.
Dude, I
give her a love tap on the face. Hey, wake up. We're done. Thank you. And the simple fact that you didn't feel the need to call 911.
Right, to resuscitate her. Oh my God, we're having sex.
Well,
and I didn't realize she wasn't breathing.
Do you think he looked down at her and said, his inner good part was like, dude, you better get down there and give her mouth to mouth. And he's like, hell no, I will not go down there and give her mouth to mouth.
Dude, I mean, no.
He said no.
I think the guy meant to do it. I think it was intentional.
Do you think maybe it was the heat of the moment? She was trying to pull away and he was like, oh no, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe so.
Was she maybe enjoying it? Maybe she was one of those rare women that just love to just suck a penis.
Just get choked. Some of them like to get choked. I mean, dude, it's not the only case. You know, the whole choking thing, people die.
But
choking during sex, people die. And I mean, you know.
The defense was trying to say that maybe there was another underlying cause that she died from, and it wasn't the size of Richard's penis.
It wasn't the lack of oxygen. A really smart guy named Gary Brecka, he owns 10X Health Systems. He's a biologist.
Does he know about giant penises and throats?
He does, because he's a human biologist.
Okay.
He said everyone dies of the same thing, a lack of oxygen to the brain.
It's just what caused the lack of oxygen.
Causes, you know, it could be old age, right?
But lack of oxygen.
Lack of oxygen to the brain is the reason why everyone dies.
Whether it be that you got shot and you stopped breathing, whether it be, you know,
have a heart attack.
That's really good. You never really think of it like that.
Maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe it was something like that. But there's some responsibility reporting it and, you know, going through the process. I think I'd have to really know more about not the size of the guy's penis. To me, that's irrelevant. What I need to know about is, you know, what are they saying about this? And maybe it was some underlying issue. Maybe it wasn't his fault. I don't know. I mean, that's a good one. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I understand why.
Oh, it already played out.
I understand why there'd be a jury, because who the hell's going to be able to rule on that? You know what I mean? Like,
could you imagine being a judge?
If the condom does not fit, you must acquit.
Right. That's pretty good. Well, Richard ended up, spoiler alert, he ended up getting off.
Literally.
He was set free after getting off. Yeah. They found
Wow.
him non-guilty.
Wow.
Maybe he had the perfect penis. I'm not really sure.
It'd be interesting to hear his testimony.
I'm sure we could dig it up if we really wanted to go there. You know? I was just shocked by the news reporting of said incident.
That's funny, man.
And I could not imagine our attorneys arguing in the court of law over the display of Richard's penis to the jury. Hey, it's not indecent exposure.
No.
We have to see it. As a jury member, you need to see Richard's member.
Yeah, that's right.
All right? Now, this guy is going viral.
Yeah.
I heard this, and it related to me, Ben, so much.
Right.
It related to me, this guy's apology tour.
Yeah.
And it inspired me to create my own.
Wife apology greatest hits. Went upstairs for the night without announcing it. I'm currently working on a solo version of that scene from Sound of Music where the kids do a big number on their way to bed. I applied the brakes in order to save our lives. I underestimated the trauma that the change in momentum would create for her. When I sprained my ankle, I had a walking boot and I was limping too loudly up the stairs. The thing to do would have been to lay down on my good leg and silently drag my body up the stairs using the railing. was minding my own business,
Imagine
standing
that.
in the kitchen when she wanted to open the drawer in front of me. Obviously, I should have dove out of the way as soon as I sensed her slightest movement. Last night when I was cutting my steak, I let my knife touch the plate for a fraction of a second. I momentarily faced her, breathing my hot breath in her face. As I've covered separately, I should be facing the wall the entire night, despite the chronic shoulder pain it causes. Number 3, if you always sit in the same place on the sofa, your body is going to indent that cushion and ruin the couch.
Oh my God.
So what you got to do is you got to brace yourself with your arms and your core, and you just hover above that cushion. Hover. First, I didn't sound excited enough in my text message when she offered to pick up Panera. Next, I made the bed wrong. There was something about the tag on the comforter being in the wrong corner. I added to the clutter of our house by setting my glass down for 30 seconds between sips. When I asked a harmless question about the origin of a pair of pants that looked new, it was treated like I had requested the CIA's Bin Laden case file. Next, a guy at a show we were watching cheated on his wife. This led to a detailed explanation of what would happen to me in that situation, and it was very believable. I inserted the knife into the butter container, not realizing it had 4 toast crumbs on it. Next, the wreaths blew off our house in a windstorm. Obviously, I should have stayed up all night and dove out the window and catch them. First, I gently tugged the covers when they were bunched and pinned completely under her. I used the kitchen the same day it had been cleaned. Next, I accidentally laughed at her insane theory that the floor under the treadmill at the gym is slanted, so she's actually running uphill and not getting credit for it. Next, I said what when I didn't hear what she said. Obviously, I should have just rolled the dice and either said yes or I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Finally, I shoveled the walkway wrong. I cleared it to the width a normal human being would need to walk down. But she had a more dramatic boulevard-type entrance in mind, presumably for the UPS guy to pretend he was walking down the Champs-Elysees.
Oh, my God.
I really related to that.
Yeah.
Because if you think about all the bullshit in my house on a weekly basis that my wife might get irritated at me for, I'm not saying I apologize for these things.
Right.
His sarcastic delivery of the things that they almost expect you to apologize for.
Yes.
And sometimes you do, just to get him to shut the up for a second. I found it very therapeutic, and I found it pretty damn funny as I was jotting the 2 pages
oh my God.
of things that I should apologize to my wife for.
Oh, so so I see. This guy encouraged you.
Inspired
you to do your own apology tour. Are you hoping that she is going to apologize for being upset with you?
No, not at all.
Are you genuinely apologizing for these things?
Oh, no, not at all. I think I'm doing this in such a way as listening to that example. Do you think he was really sorry for the things he was apologizing for?
No, I mean, these are all ridiculous things that any of us who are married understand.
Right. Dealing with the emotional roller coaster of the female species.
Yeah.
I found it very funny.
How many do you have there? That's a pretty big list.
Oh, yes. It's quite extensive. There are a few of these things that I probably should apologize for.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I'm sorry 100 times.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start it off with, I'm sorry. And you can pick which ones you might do that irritate your wife. I did this segment on the morning show that I am a part of this past week. Right. So if we do have any listeners that might have heard this, I'm sorry for you having to listen to some of it again, but I do have some ones on here that I didn't quite say. Baby, I'm sorry. I make up my own words to songs when I don't know all the real words.
Yes.
I looked at you and I smiled.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, because apparently...
What are you smiling about?
Exactly.
Nothing should be smiled upon.
Why are you so guilty? What are you guilty about?
What do you want?
Yeah, what are you guilty about? I was doing something you didn't like in the dream you had last night.
Dang.
Maybe with your friend. I rolled the window down in order to take a gasping breath of air because you had both sides blowing 90-degree heat in the car with the heated seats on, and it's summertime.
Ooh.
For not riding the person's ass in front of me, pacing with traffic, keeping my family safe. My bad. So I speed up to adhere to your backseat driving, and now I'm the reckless driver.
That's right, buddy.
For taking the foot off the gas to slow down instead of using the brake. Preserving my brakes.
So there's a lot of drama in the Kaylee car.
If I'm driving.
If you're driving.
Yeah.
If you're driving, it is an arduous ride.
Oh, yeah. So annoying.
Does it matter where you go? Could it be like from my house to your house?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah. Or it could be like to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you're mentioning this, I've noticed that you guys are in
drives.
her car and she drives.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time when we see like with the family and stuff.
Oh, yeah. She drives because, she doesn't want me to drive. So it causes a fight.
You're like, cool.
Yeah. I'm like, fine. Till she's had a few drinks and then she's like, oh, now you're going to drive.
Right.
I'm like, now it's okay?
Right.
Anyway. For getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep per night and being a little tired at the end of the week.
So sorry.
For asking if tonight maybe we could watch something else on another channel other than Bravo. For turning my spoon over in my mouth when I take a bite of yogurt. For my teeth hitting that same spoon. For resembling Dave Chappelle's character Tyrone Biggums after eating vanilla yogurt. You know, the crackhead that's got the white all over his mouth? That's me. That's
funny.
For how I slurp my drink. For talking about things on air or on my podcast, and now everybody hates us. Right? All right. For burping, holding it in, or letting it out. Followed by an excuse me.
Yeah.
Either one.
It's gross.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Correct. Not putting toilet paper or paper towels back on its proper holder. Talking too much. Not talking enough.
Right.
Being unable to take a photo of you at the angle you desire.
Oh.
Or
gotta get them angles, girl.
Being unable to take a good photo with me in it.
Yeah. Get out of the photo.
Yeah. Why can't you ever? You're the worst. For being loved by all the family and friends you introduced me to.
Yes.
God, Kaylee, he is so cool.
He's amazing.
Yeah. He's got to apologize for being that cool.
For being loved.
For caring enough about you to leave the last bite or sip of something in the refrigerator or pantry.
That's definitely a loaded one right there.
Yeah, it is. For entering the house at all. After you have cleaned.
Yeah.
This right here, Ben, is a debate topic. And I didn't realize how split the country is on this topic alone. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
For not sleeping under the sheet on top of the sheet.
I'm there, dude. I'm an on top of the sheet guy.
I am not a flat sheeter.
No.
Okay?
I like the blanket.
Right.
I like the comforter.
Me too. And that's
I don't
what I'm
need
saying.
Sheets.
I want the fitted sheet that protects the
Yes.
mattress from me.
Right.
And all of
But
my
not
juices.
the middle sheet.
What happens to it? It ends up bunched down
up
at the
bottom of the bed.
It's not used.
Nobody uses it.
It's uncomfortable if it's tucked in and then you
Right.
can't get your feet out of it.
I hate
you
that.
feel like claustrophobic. If you have a feeling one way or the other on whether to use a flat sheet,
Right.
please hit up manfuzed.com.
Absolutely.
Join the show because European bed sheets,
Right.
most Europeans use what's called a duvet cover.
Correct.
Which the argument for a flat sheet is that, it protects the cover from getting dirty.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to wash it.
yeah.
But a duvet cover, which I would say a majority,
Yeah.
think that might have started as a European thing.
Duvet.
Yeah.
It's a French word.
It's come over here and a lot of people use them.
But they still use sheets. Yeah.
Why?
It's just the way
If you believe in flat sheets, you
raised.
believe in flat earth.
Yeah. Flat earther equals flat sheeter.
Do flat earthers believe in flat sheets?
They believe in flat everything, actually.
Right? Flat sheets are garbage.
Here's my thing. I never liked them. I never used them. Growing up as a kid, never liked it, never used it, always had them. Eventually, when I moved out on my own, I just had the rubber band sheet.
Right.
You know, the elastic one
fitted.
that wraps around the fitted one.
Right.
You know, and a duvet. I like a nice down comforter with, a duvet, a cool duvet. Now, duvets are kind of a pain in the ass. The comforter can get stuff down into it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So you have to button it around the edges and stuff like that.
But even then, I still had problems with it.
It's so much more comfortable.
Yeah, it is.
And you're right. In Europe, they typically don't have the flat sheet. I get in trouble for that one too, man. The whole sheet thing.
Yeah,
it's
why?
always.
Does your wife, is she a flat sheeter?
Oh yeah, dude.
She likes to be in the sheet.
I don't understand why you don't get under the sheets. We'll be laying in bed and I will literally I'll be on top of the sheet. She's under the sheet.
Yeah.
So I could like touch her leg with my leg, and it's not skin to skin.
It's divided.
There's a sheet in between us.
Yeah, the flat.
The sheet between us.
The sheet between us. Really, that's the divide.
The divide is the sheet between us.
Absolutely. It's the great divide. The sheet between us. That should tell you everything.
I get in trouble for leaving the garage door open constantly. I always forget to take the trash out on time.
So you have to wait the next week?
No, so actually she started doing it. Which is demoralizing, apparently, or should be demoralizing for me.
Should be.
I'm just like, sweet. No, I mean, I take it out from time to time, but taking the trash out. I mean, dude.
I do that, no problem. That's not one of my downfalls. But.
I am on constant, my trash antenna is always up.
Right.
Because God forbid.
You forget.
It gets full.
Oh, okay.
Oh. And God forbid I see her pulling it out of the garbage can. Something that
you as a man
should
be dealing with.
Failed on. Now, honestly, I can't complain because she has good reason for all these things. You know, some of her safety issues, you know, missing the freaking trash date, for example. It's not good. I mean, I'm not defending myself from that perspective. It's interesting, the relationship between a man and a woman as it evolves
on a daily basis.
Once all the, shiny stuff is gone and just how it really is. If you think about it, it really is, it's a dichotomy. There's things that, dude, my wife does incredible things, and yours does too, that I don't do. And it improves the quality of my life.
Absolutely.
Drastically.
I do think from a male's perspective, though, if a female was honest about the batshit crazy way they respond to things that they probably should be apologizing to us for, dude, this list would be, oh my God, it'd be ridiculous. This is my apology tour, so we're not going to talk about what I think my wife's apology tour should be.
Here's what's interesting about females.
My wife doesn't apologize.
This is interesting to me. So we've always heard that females actually don't get dressed up for dudes. I mean, maybe they do a little bit.
They get dressed up for other women.
For each other. Why will they not wear the same outfit twice? Because some girl might have seen her in it before. It has nothing to do with you. She knows that you don't give a shit, bro.
Because they're the ones that are judging.
Because they're judging one another.
Right.
And they know how they are because they know how they are.
Ba-dum-bum.
And here's the interesting thing to me. I have found females in general, there are very few females with like a lot of girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do they like each other in general? No. I mean, they can become friends.
But at arm's length.
You know what I'm saying?
Typically.
Yeah.
They do each other so dirty. They're so catty, overly sensitive about
high level of emotion, man. I mean, compared to us, sure.
You're a dude. I'm a dude. What do we care?
Female. You know what I mean?
What do we care?
I'm just saying, it's not our wives. I mean, that's a female trait.
Yeah.
These things that we're talking about, like your list of things, those are all male traits, bro. There's not a male in this world that can't identify with at least 80% of that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Same with the guy that did it. That's why it's so funny, because we all know exactly what he's talking about.
Right. Absolutely.
So I saw this Bill Burr skit the other day, and it was freaking hilarious.
Is it the new one at Red Rocks?
I don't know. It was just a short clip, and he's like, think about the look. You're in a bar, and you see a 35-year-old lesbian sitting across the bar.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like a 20-year-old lesbian. I'm talking about a girl, she's been in a relationship with another girl for 5 years. She's starting to see how the thing's going to go. And then you scan across the bar and you see a guy, a 35-year-old guy. He's married. He's in the same situation. Same look.
Yeah.
Same look.
Yeah.
And he's like, now, I'm not gay. But gay people are like the happiest people I've ever seen in the world. And then out comes a gay guy, and he's just floating across the room.
Right.
And he said, dude, the gay guys, he said, I'm not saying they got it all figured out, but it's starting to look pretty good to me.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the common denominator here? It's the woman.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
He was like being sucked down by all that estrogen. The estrogen sucked from hell to suck all the life out of you.
Yeah. It's fucking so funny. He also had an amazing, when we talked about Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
And
that was great.
And our stance. Did you hear his stance?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with him. And it's funny, dude, because I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, it's a window into how different the lives of females really are from males.
Oh, yeah.
the whole abortion thing. And the fact that half of the country or more advocating. I'm not saying you shouldn't allow them. It's such a weird thing. We're talking about killing a baby.
Right.
Okay? We're talking about killing a baby here.
Right.
Is what we're talking about. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have the right to do it. We're talking about killing a baby.
Right.
You know? I mean, there's got to be a better way here. Right. Are you guys really that pissed off that you can't go out and get pregnant and kill the baby? That pisses you off. That's a whole different life, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
Because, like, if you're a female, you're rolling the dice. Every time you have sex with a guy,
every time you have sex with this jobless, toothless
or whoever, just some random or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Some bad decision.
Some rando.
Some bad decision.
Some vacation.
Absolutely. Not a vacation anymore.
How many guys are fathers to vacation kids and don't know it? Talk about man-fused. Dude, because it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Now, do they not know that they got her pregnant and she had an abortion? Or do they not know that they got her pregnant and she had the kid?
No,
Either one.
No, she had the kid. Yeah, either one. It was either your abortion. I'm talking long-term relationship.
Right.
The girl steps out, gets knocked up, doesn't say anything. Husband doesn't know she stepped out. It's like, you got me pregnant. It wasn't actually you. She stepped out, got pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't tell you about it, had the kid, and you never knew she cheated.
Why is he black?
Dude, that happens too, right? I mean, the kid comes out, it's black, you're like,
it's not my kid. Yes, it is.
Yes,
I swear.
it is.
He's got your hat.
It's called a melanin deficiency.
Oh, my God. Why is he Iranian? I guess you have something in your genes you didn't know about.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. So you want me to keep going on my list? For not hitting snooze 100 times at 3 a.m. to keep from waking you, but then for not waking you to tell you I'm leaving.
Because that's her alarm clock.
What?
When you say you're leaving.
Well, I don't say I'm leaving. That's what I need to apologize for.
Oh.
But I've not hit snooze.
Yeah.
Didn't let myself sleep longer because I didn't want to wake you. And then I need to apologize for not waking you when I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
give her the Richard wake up.
That'll go over real well at 3 a.m. For the way I vacuum. For giving people the benefit of the doubt.
See, so here's the other thing. You just don't vacuum anymore. You're just done with vacuuming. I'm not doing it anymore.
I'll have to apologize for not helping around the house. For not cooking, which we know I'm not a cook.
This is one of the brilliant things about me.
Okay.
Number one, a lot of people know that I cook. Now, think of all the things that gets me out of.
Does that get you out of a lot of things?
Oh, bro. Think about it. If you cook during a party, do you have to clean up? Do you have to throw shit away? Do you have to do dishes? No, bro. If you go over to somebody's house and cook for them, at a party, if you're cooking, dude, everybody wants to hang out at the grill. Fun place to be, you know? Also, people love great food. If you want lessons, bro, I'm around. I can help you learn how to make some pot roast.
But, my wife is an amazing cook.
Yeah.
So why do I want to even
Your
try?
wife is actually a really good cook. I'm a very good cook.
You are.
There are some things that she makes that I don't know how the fuck she did it.
At this stage in my life, why? I don't need to.
Yeah.
She cooks.
Well, she enjoys cooking.
Right. And I get to eat great food.
Yeah, exactly. Got to think of something for you to do other than clean.
Like a bitch.
And not laundry either.
Like a little bitch. All right. For talking at a volume that doesn't meet her desires level. For laughing in my sleep. For asking, what's your schedule again? For elbows to her face and body while sleeping.
Oh.
On occasion, I might roll over and just throw one.
Go throw them bows.
For my face and overall facial expressions.
Yes.
For never using the right tone when speaking to you. For being tone deaf, apparently.
Tone deaf.
This, by far, Ben, is one of my personal favorites. I get so much laughter out of doing this.
Yeah.
The house, the end of the day, kids are asleep. Finally.
Right.
The house is silent. We are laying in bed.
It's a beautiful moment.
And all of a sudden, she hears this.
What is that, a vape?
It's like being in the movies.
Yeah. Hearing somebody slurp.
Or opening the loudest package that they could open.
It's pretty quiet.
When everything is silent,
yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
Well, she hates this thing anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll be sitting there like this, thinking it's going to be quiet.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do it quiet, but knowing it's not going to be quiet.
Right.
For always hustling 24/7.
Every day I'm hustling.
For being a composer of things around the house and not being a member of the orchestra.
Well, look, without a composer, you can't have an orchestra.
That's right.
So
to define that, which means I don't do shit around the house.
Right.
I'll compose.
Yeah.
I'll have my wand and I will be orchestrating.
It's called leadership. Bro.
That's right. That's what I say. That's what I say. And this is my last one. For not getting the holiday decorations out in a timely manner, which signals to everyone around you that you hate Christmas and you hate Jesus. So for that, I am sorry.
Yeah.
So, that was my apology tour, and I could probably keep going.
Well, I think that was a pretty comprehensive list.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, were there were things on there that you obviously probably related to?
Well, the general tone is that of,
not being sorry?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times things just don't make emotional sense.
Right.
We live in a world of logic as men. Women live in a world of emotion. Very often, logic and emotion are like oil and water. I think it's a clear indication of the dichotomy between men and women. And honestly, I'd love to hear maybe some of her apologies.
Yeah, I would too. I just don't think I'd get them.
Yeah. I'm sorry for doing everything.
Right. Around the house. I'm sorry for burying your children.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Exactly. All right. Well, you know what? That's the second time I've done that. Like I said, I did it on the morning show that I'm a part of. So that was my apology tour 2.
Deuce.
So this happened. I tried to think about it and put this into perspective, and I know you did too. A week ago, I was sitting at work, and I was like, I'm going to text Ben. And then something stopped me, and I was like, oh, no. My inner voice was like, yeah, don't bother him. He's probably at work or on his way to work. And really what I had to say could wait.
Right.
And then something nagged at me again. And so I decided to send you a text.
Yeah.
But the text I sent you.
Are you all right, bro?
So instead of going, what up, bro? What you getting into? Or, hey, here's something about ManFuzed or here or whatever I had. I don't even remember the original thought to text you was.
Right.
But what I ended up texting you was, hey, bro, are you good? Question mark. And within 1 minute of that text going through, I received a photo back from you.
Yes.
And your response underneath the photo was, well, yeah, I guess I'm okay. Any higher and I could have died.
Yeah. I'm driving down the highway. I'm going to the city. So I have like a 4-door car that I use to go in and out of the city. And
it's an M5. It's a 4-door car. It's just a beater that I drive around the city to get better gas mileage. He's got an M5.
It's a race car.
It's a race car. Now, were you racing down the highway?
No, I wasn't, man. I was actually
traffic was it was busy.
Dude, it was an interesting moment. It was one of those spiritual moments, to be honest with you, because I was actually talking to my wife and I had kind of a negative connotation on, things. I was just kind of venting about things to my wife. And she said, Ben, that's the devil trying to take control of your mind. You need to turn that around and you need to think about all of these things from a positive perspective and start thinking more positively about these things. She's like, because that's just the devil trying to get in your head right there. And dude, about 3 seconds after she said, that's the devil trying to get into your head right there, the cars in front of me slammed on their brakes. So then I slammed on my brakes. And something, I didn't see what it was, came out from underneath the car in front of me. It was like a little Ford Focus, a red Ford Focus, an older one. Like nothing particularly...
Piece of shit.
Yeah, a real shit box. Anyway, something kicked out of this thing. And dude, I didn't see what it was because it was moving fast, bro.
Like a bullet.
Yeah, it was like I kind of saw a flash of something and I heard it hit my car. There was no way I could have dodged out of the way. I had cars all around me. And so I'm like, oh, wow. I told Jen, I was like, I just ran over something. And she was like, well, what was it? And I was like, I don't know. It's like a piece of metal or something. My car sensor went ding, and it came up a message on the screen, and it said, refill your radiator fluid as soon as possible. And I was like, immediately, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, whatever I just ran over pierced my radiator. I told Jen. And then I looked to the left of me, and the people riding to the left of me are like pointing at the front of my car. So I pull over, and I get out of the car, and I walk around the front of the car once I know I'm safely off the highway. It's like a construction zone. So there's a nice area for me to pull off to. So I walked around, and I looked at the front of the car, and bro, no exaggeration, you've seen the pictures, a 12-foot long metal pipe speared through my radiator right in front of
the driver's
side, the driver's seat, dead center on the steering wheel, dude. Just, I mean, straight speared it. Went through the front radiator. It has an upper radiator, a lower radiator, and an air conditioning condenser. The car has 3 radiators through all 3 of them. It's a high performance BMW M5. It speared straight through it, bro. Straight through it. So the funny thing was this. Rewind, right? I'm in the car. I'm talking to my wife. Thing kicks out. I hit it. I hear it. The ding goes off. I see the people to the left of me. I pull over. I get out of the car. I see what had happened. And I told my wife, I was like, honey, look, I gotta go. I gotta call AAA. I got a tow truck out here. I gotta call the insurance company. I gotta get off the side of this highway, so let me jump. And so then I was like, all right, well, the safest thing I could do is just go sit back in my car because I was safely off the highway. So I went and I sat back in my car. And about as soon as I sat down, I got a text from you. Your text was within, let's say, 5 minutes of the whole thing happening. Of basically, your text came when I got off the phone with my wife and maybe a few minutes passed. And because that was the case, my initial thought was, how does he know what just happened? Right. And so naturally, our wives are friends. I thought, oh, well, maybe as soon as I got off the phone with Jen, Aaron was calling Jen for something else. And then Jen was like, oh my God, Ben just got in an accident on 400. Aaron would have texted you.
Which even then, that would have had to be
it would have still been lightning speed.
Right. Everyone had to stop what they're doing.
Boom, 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 boom. Like right after me and my wife got off the phone.
But that wasn't the case. My wife never talked to your wife.
But we didn't know that.
Until later that afternoon.
Later that afternoon.
After we talked.
After we talked about it. And you were like, dude, how crazy is that I knew? And I was like, what do you mean? Because I thought, I didn't think about it. Tow trucks all day.
You didn't think about, hey, how'd you text me so fast?
It was like, oh, that's weird. Like,
it dawned on me how crazy that timing was about why I felt the need to message you that random.
Bro, so it was interesting because from the time that happened, everyone said the same thing. Thank God it wasn't a foot higher.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that saw that picture was like, holy shit,
it would have speared right through your glass and windshield and right through your head.
Bro, everybody that saw it was like, bro, that's some Final Destination shit.
Absolutely.
Everybody that saw it said that. And so that was through the process of the tow truck driver, getting to the automotive dealership with the service department, just talking to people and telling them what I was there for and stuff like that. And so it kind of started to sink in for me. Made me realize that that's how people die. People die unexpectedly. People die for crazy, weird things that happen. Out of nowhere.
Wrong place at the wrong time or right place at the right time.
It just comes out of nowhere. And so then all of a sudden, I went to kind of a deeper level in my mind. I got to go to Taffer's Tavern by our house. I hadn't eaten anything. I'm hungry. I could use a drink. I don't have a car. I'm not driving. I'm going to get an Uber. I'm going to go to Taffer's. So I'm at Taffer's, and I had some drinks, and I was talking to them about it, and they were all saying the same thing. And then my wife and son came and met me at Taffer's.
Right.
It was so weird. It was like a rebirth, dude. I felt like I was a ghost almost, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I knew I wasn't, but I just had this in my mind. Then it started to sink in. I was like, dude, no, that was actually a pretty close call.
Oh, very.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was actually a close call. So then all of a sudden, dude, I'm like going through, it was just this really sharp and intense level of awareness of look at how blessed you are. Look at your life. Look at how blessed you are. You have this beautiful wife. You have this beautiful son. You live in this beautiful place. You have the ability to come here and have food and get a drink and look at your family. And then when I got home. And so as I was playing through how grateful I am in my head, I was also playing through what it would be like if they were to get that news that something tragic occurred to me.
Just randomly going down 400.
And I wasn't at home right then. and my absence in the home, what that would mean and what that would feel like. And then I started thinking about my absence to the world, but specifically my home. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's your immediate world.
Yeah. And so it was an interesting experience because we've all had tragic things occur. We know
close calls
and stuff like that. I guess for me, I don't know. I've never really seen the dichotomy of what my absence would literally, like I was in my closet taking off my blue jeans and I was getting ready to put on some shorts, and then it flashed into my head like just a bloody white sheet covered hospital bed in the morgue with a toe tag with my name on it. And I had that vision flash through my head.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of like bipolar.
Not necessarily bipolar. That could have been a real outcome.
Right. It was like I was getting visions of what it would be like at that time during the day that I died from this thing. What would be happening with my body other than what I was actually doing. It was like a comparison between that imagery and what I was seeing and what I was doing.
I remember it was one morning, Aaron, I was on my way to work and I get up at 3 a.m. and I'm out the door at 4. And I was going south on the highway. I had just, within like 2 minutes, missed a wrong way driver going, north in the southbound lane that ended up killing a car full of people.
Yeah.
2 minutes earlier,
I
could have been that car.
Yeah.
The variables that have to connect in the most perfect way for you to fall, to be that statistic, for it to hit you versus the thousands of people, or for them to not hit anybody. Mind-blowing, dude. Crazy. Your wife was like talking you down about the devil.
Yeah.
And then that hit. Boom.
And it was like, bro, you better be good. Like you have protection. And then it brought about this feeling in me because like I feel sometimes like I hold back on things. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm scared to maybe fail that big. It's just kind of got me in this mindset of like, what would I do if I knew I wouldn't fail? If I knew I couldn't fail? If I knew I was going to succeed, how would I do things differently? Or would I do things differently? If I knew there was no chance of failure. So that's like faith that I'm going to succeed.
Right.
Not using sight
as your determining factor.
Right, because sight, these are your current structures.
Absolutely.
Your current circumstances do not define what's possible for you
down the road because you can't see that. But faith is like the vision further out.
Right. So if you're using sight to move through your life, there's always that variable of failure that's controlling your actions and controlling your words and controlling how you do things.
But your belief, your faith.
But if you live instead of on sight, you live in a place of faith where you affirm to yourself that there is no such thing as failure. Overarching question, and we don't know this, and this is the hard part about this question. The question is, if you knew for a fact that you would succeed, what would you do? Maybe it's exactly the same. Look at Elon Musk. This guy, he was a college student, worked for some software company. They sold it. He had a piece of it, 20 mil. He put 20 mil in PayPal, made 180 mil. He put 180 mil in Tesla and SpaceX. Now he's buying Twitter for 44B.
And that's just like kind of like I'll buy Twitter.
That's an example of someone operates under the pretense that he will succeed, not that I might fail. The guy said when he was young that he'd rather commit suicide than be broke. Now, that's more powerful than just, what if you knew that you would, because obviously he didn't know, right? That was kind of the blessing behind the situation, is that it kind of brought out that idea to me. How would you be living your life? Because it almost like made me feel like you literally got a second chance almost. Like you have this different perspective now. What are you going to do? Nothing before today matters. Right. Today forward, if you got brought back from the dead and you saw your children and you saw your family and you saw how horrible it was for them, and then you were back, what would you do?
That's a damn good question.
It's deep, dude.
It is very deep. Well, that wraps us up for this week. It is the Manfuzed Podcast. You can find us on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Join the show by going to manfuzed.com, hitting us up on any of the social media platforms. Later.
Peace.